Hi, I'm Lynn Krebs.
Hi, I'm Tian Su. We're from the Texas Real Estate Research Center. Today, we're gonna briefly share our latest article about forecasting the small rural land market in Texas. In recent years, the smaller parcels have actually become a much bigger part of the market than the larger parcels. According to our study, what we found that they now account for more than half of the statewide transactions. And that was really what motivated us to start exploring how we might forecast the activity in small land market. Of course, it's not a simple process. Even though we were able to build on our experience from the large land forecasting work, we still went through quite a bit of testing, adjustments along the way. So one thing we did differently in our study is that instead of focus on the entire state, we modeling our small land market in 5 regions. And then that was actually an idea you suggested that turns out to be really important for our study. Could you share something about the thinking behind that?
Yeah, so initially we tried to model the entire state as a unit like we've done with the large land tracts. However, when we got to thinking about the differences in the median tract for small land tracts in Texas, Region 1 and Region 2 really stood out as different. And also, economic factors affecting Regions 1 and 2 are different than the rest of the state, at least in degree of magnitude. And so we decided to exclude Region 1, which is heavily influenced by agricultural tracts, even in small adjacent tracts to larger agricultural tracts. And also in Region 2, we decided to exclude because of, first of all, really low volume of sales in far west Texas. And additionally, it's more heavily influenced by oil and gas industry. And so we excluded those 2 and modeled the other 5 regions as a group. And that really made a lot more sense and things started coming together from that point. So Tien, we also looked at a lot of the same factors that we used in the large land model, but we realized that it still wasn't quite clicking, and so we had to make some adjustments. Tell us about those.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the process wasn't completely straightforward. We started with the same 3 macroeconomic indicators we used in our large land models, so things like Texas personal income, oil prices, and Fed fund rates. When we first applied them to the small market, however, the results wasn't what we exactly expected. So we went back and tweaked the model, and that helps to better reflect what was happening in this market. In the end, what we can see is that small land market does respond to economic conditions, but it's fairly stable and not easily shaken by short-term shocks like the COVID. So that's our findings, and it takes a tough step to getting there, right?
Right. So we're excited about what we've developed here, and we're looking forward to sharing the results of our small land forecast, which we'll be doing on a regular basis. For more on this, read our article in the Spring 2026 Tierra Grande and online on our website. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.